It is right, and I finally got a chance to use the Arsenal against the Canon M50 with the time lapse. And this was kind of fun. And I did it because I was like, okay, first of all, I haven't done much of anything with time lapse, but I thought it'd be one cool way to kind of break up a video. Like if you could do a quick, like even 20-minute time lapse of something that would usually be boring. Let's say I'm at my desk and it's, you know, kind of boring to see someone at their desk. When you speed it up and you put it to music, it kind of gives it a different dimension. And so I thought that'd be kind of cool. And then I thought, oh, the Arsenal, I could be using that. And so I thought, well, I wonder what the difference is. I mean, if I had the auto on with the Canon M50 and I put it against, the Arsenal and it's Holy Grail mode, what would happen? Guess what? This is the result. Check it out. So this was actually a lot of fun. Now, what I did is at first I did myself at my desk and I thought, okay, well, that's okay. It wasn't that great and it's not that exciting. I was looking at some of the results that are in the Arsenal group. Yes, there's a Facebook Arsenal camera assistant group and it's a lot of fun. And the Arsenal camera assistant gets a lot of flack. It also has some really good photographers who have taken hold of it and said, hey, you know, this is actually pretty good. I'm on there and I'm seeing where the Arsenal is really powerful in these landscapes. And some of these landscapes are just incredible. I mean, we're talking about these landscapes are just incredible. I mean, I look outside at what I've got to take a picture of right now and I'm like, nah, I can't do what they're doing. I mean, geez, I have to go someplace else to get the kind of shots they've got. So I was like, but I still want to do this time lapse. I still want to have fun with it. So that's where I came up with the idea. Okay, I'll just put myself in action and kind of do some music and see how that goes. I just wanted to see, you know, kind of like play with the time lapse. So I think in some ways, this little quick time lapse test is kind of unfair because the Arsenal does really well with landscapes. It does really well outside. And I think it actually would do better against the Canon M50 within that scope, but I didn't do it within that scope. So I looked at it from the perspective of, okay, here's the results and they're slightly different. You'll be able to see this in a second, but I also looked at, okay, how easy was it to do? And there are a couple of things that came up, but first, let me show you the result. First, we'll look at the Canon M50 and here's the result of me on the wheel slinging some pottery. Here we go. Okay, so that was the Canon M50. Now let's look at the Arsenal. Same sort of setup, and the Arsenal had a little bit longer range. I actually was in with the Canon M50, and I'll show you in a second how to set that up. It's really easy, but the Arsenal, I got it a little bit longer, and well, here, hey, I'm slinging clay again. Same sort of setup, just a slightly different angle. Here it is. So those are kind of fun, right? So here's the thing with the Canon M50. Here's how to set this up. It's really it's super simple. Okay, here's some quick instructions on that.
What you're gonna do is go to the first menu and you're gonna click time-lapse movie, and then you're gonna choose, you know, time-lapse itself because you've got to enable it. So you go to scene 1. For this is using scene 1. The other scenes have a different setup. So this is for moving subjects. You go in there and then you can change the exposure to do a fixed frame, like if you have consistent lighting, or you can do each frame. I chose each frame because my lighting was going to be a little bit variable, some natural light. The interval shots, you can basically go in there and change the interval that you should take and the number of shots. And this is the mistake I did. You need to make sure it's long enough for what you're doing, so you can lengthen or shorten the shots that you have. And then you just click menu and you're ready to go. And then you just hit record. It'll bring it to the screen. You hit record again. Once the recording button's on, then you know it's going, and you can hear it click each time it is going. Even though it's kind of in video mode, it's actually recording the time lapse. So that's about it.
Okay, and with the Arsenal, it's really, again, drop dead simple if you're not doing a lot of tweaking. I just went with the standard setup, and here's how I did that.
Okay, so it's fairly easy within Arsenal. You just go slide yourself over to the time-lapse feature, and then you're basically going to be getting a focus point, and from there focus point, you're going to go ahead and choose what type. you're gonna have. Hey, I had mine set to manual, my lens, so I had to set it to autofocus. That may be something you'll have to do. And then I also had to change my camera to manual mode. Otherwise, you can't use Holy Grail. But again, you just go here to the time lapse, and then you can choose your interval and the number of shots, and that'll of course affect the runtime, which you can see there how much is the runtime is and the playback time. Just make sure your runtime is what you want. And then I had it on basic, but again, I went up, did Holy Grail, chose my focus point, and it prompted me that I needed to be in manual mode, so I just switched over to manual mode. It'll prompt you if you're not in the right mode to get there. But once I got it into manual mode, then I just clicked time lapse, let it go, and off I went. The only thing you're gonna want to know is when you're done, you need to make sure that you click down and go into the time lapse itself, and then click the button to either save the video as I did here, or you can actually share it to your Mac. That's pretty important because if you don't do that, you'll actually lose your time lapse because it will only save the pictures, not the actual time lapse, to your camera.
Now, between the two, I have to say, with the Arsenal on my T4i, I could hear that thing clicking away. Clickety, clickety, click. It was actually kind of distracting. With the Canon M50, it was a really silent mode. In fact, when I started it was hard to tell it was started or not. It showed that it was doing video, but I knew it wasn't doing video, so it was like, oh, I just trusted that it was on. And then I couldn't really, every once in a while I could hear it kind of beeping a little bit, but I never knew if it was on or off. And you know what happened? I realized I didn't set it far enough. I only went for 15 minutes. I meant to set it for longer, and I didn't do that. And the thing of it is, with the T4i, I would have heard if that stopped going. With the Canon M50, I didn't know it had stopped. So that's how I came up with the results I did. So this was a fun little experiment, quick little video. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm ultimately going to be taking this outside. And I'll be doing some more tests on time lapse between the two. I really do think the Arsenal is going to shine much better than the Canon M50 in certain respects. But the ease of use with the Canon M50 was pretty cool. I didn't have to do pretty much anything. I set it up, I set it to go, and I was gone. So for ease of use, Canon M50 wins. But I have a feeling that over time, I'm going to see the Arsenal win in terms of the ability for the Arsenal to create a much more photogenic result because it's designed for that. But that's just my premise. Who knows? Be sure to subscribe if you want to see that. If this was helpful, give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.